welcome to OverBoost 34. OverBoost is a podcast interview series featuring discussions with speedrunners, and this time I'm introducing a new panel format. Me and three guests, one of whom is late because of weather, but that's okay. We still love him anyway, and he's here with us in his spirit form. We'll be discussing the upcoming AGDQ 2021 schedule and providing some top picks for each day of the event. I am your host, PMC Trilogy, and with me today are KZ Fru and Amber. Thank you so much for joining me.
Hello.
What up?
So, two disclaimers off the top. We've all been runners at GDQ, but obviously none of us are affiliated with it in any official capacity. This is all for fun. And furthermore, we're going to be picking some of our favorites, but GDQ is an extremely competitive event. Every run on the schedule has merit and, had to compete for that spot. So I have imposed a game-like structure where we have 3 points for each day. Obviously, that forces us to choose and to talk about it in a podcast format. But, again, that is not throwing down at any of the other runs. And so what we're going to do is we're going to walk through each day, take turns, kind of allow a point. We have some video clips prepped that I'll show on stream while people are talking about, whatever it is they're talking about, usually like one each day per person. And we'll speed that up so that as needed. And I'm excited to get into it. Who wants to lead off? Who wants to talk? Who wants to give their first run for Sunday?
I'm going to volunteer Plywood. Sorry. Was that
I think he's gotten bored already.
No,
Wow.
as the host of the podcast, I think you should take charge here. I like listening to you think.
So here's what I'm going to do. A lot of the runs that I'm going to talk about are runs that I already knew about beforehand. But I wanted to highlight one that I did not know about until I got to the schedule, or I just saw that. That is not what I wanted to happen.
Oh, nice. That's good. That was awesome.
Chrome's behavior was great. I did all this work setting up this thing to appear in the middle of the screen, and Chrome said, "What if you just put it there?" So this is a game called Light Matter. This is one of those first-person,
incredibly close. I almost vomited, dude.
Like
that was
shooter-oriented puzzle games, where the whole premise of the game, as far as I can tell, is that you are manipulating lights in different ways in order to move safely. Like I think if you walk in the darkness, you die. This run, of course, is Bobby Berm's PB.
Send it back.
So
right away,
they're not dying because they're doing everything right. But it definitely has the feeling of like one of those runs where the runner, who I think is doing a pretty good job here and is even streaming his PB, is going to be like probably constantly freaking out because they're so close to death, and us, the audience, just can't understand it.
Here, grab this
So
one.
I really feel like this kind of thing, like these kind of like first-person puzzle games, are always really neat, and I definitely was impressed by this. This is like my pick of that kind of genre for the schedule.
All right, this one's scroller basically.
Yeah, so I was pretty happy with that being a sort of thing that I found. Now let me do what Chrome should have let me do, which was put that here. So again, Light Matter, 1 point.
That game gives me big Talos Principle vibes.
Oh yeah,
just looking at that preview, and I've always really enjoyed watching those games for sure.
Yeah, another one was I think last event maybe was Superbliminal. That was about like
that's a really good one too.
Super fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I guess should we just maybe go down visually from top to bottom then on the right side of the screen?
Oh, you want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay. So, to everybody's shock and surprise, I'm a big advocate for the Just Cause 3 one. I gave that one 1 point, the Sky Fortress DLC. I've been watching a little bit of PMC play that over the years, and I think it's a good one for specifically early marathon. It's the third. It's going to be the third run of the event. Right. It's a very pretty game. Actually, I think it's aged well graphically. It's got bright, vibrant colors. It's got very exciting. It's just explosions, wingsuit. guns, vehicular theft, I think, Grand Theft Auto, excuse me, of particularly jets and other things, you know. I'll be there, PMC will be there, and we're going to have a great time, I think. And I think that's going to be a real early hit, right? Because they're coming out swinging with some of these, you know, Mirror's Edge, Donkey Kong Country, Just Cause 3, like boom, boom, boom. GDQ's not really beating anybody up, but you know, I think it's good. I think it's a good start, you know, to the event. So looking forward to that one. Gave it a point.
And so the flow here too is if multiple people are in on the same game, obviously everyone can then talk about that game being their pick at the time. You know, no surprise. I didn't want to start off the thing by tooting my own horn, but I am excited for my own run.
I was trying to get you to do that.
So yeah, I mean, I think this is the sort of open world action game where it's nice because I'm doing a DLC category. I am you know, able to tell me what your GDQ. You know, I'm really excited for the couch. You know, having you and Brian Otto. I think a lot of the physics shenanigans are going to, you know, they're going to be fun. People are not going to expect towing the Jeep or swinging it through the checkpoint or stuff like that. So I'm hopeful that it will impress people. I mean, I can't complain. And it'll go from there. So yeah, no, I'm hopeful. We'll see how it goes, but it should be nice.
Hell yeah. I'm excited to see it too. I actually don't know much of anything about the Just Cause franchise other than their big romps around open world experiences with big explosions and stuff. I watch a YouTube channel that the guy who did the sound design for Just Cause 4 runs, and that's like all that I know about Just Cause is like Marshall McGee, the sound designer.
That's cool.
I am going to throw my first twist in, which is that we are allowed to assign 3 points, but I don't know a lot about a lot of speed games. So some of these, I have a free convince me floater point.
Ooh.
And I'm not sure. I think I might be putting that towards Just Cause.
Oh, excellent. No, I mean, you don't have to sell me on it. I'll do that.
I had 2 runs to point out on Sunday, and then I had a floater for today. On the preview already, you can see Ratchet and Clank 2016. If I remember correctly, the remake of that game has not been at a GDQ before. I don't know too much about the run, but I do. Perilous Peanut is a good friend of mine, and it's really, really exciting to see him doing a run. He's from Brazil, so he wouldn't have been able to attend a GDQ. So it's really cool that the online format allows him to be able to do a run at the event.
Yeah, you gotta love that.
Yeah, no, that's really neat for sure. That
it just benefit. Yeah,
things that couldn't happen otherwise, like just taking that silver lining is really neat.
100%. The run that I had a little clip for was Ori and the Will-O-Wisps. There's a main quest order race on the first day between Hetfield and Scarfelt. They're both really good runners. And I picked a clip that shows off like the bread and butter of the run, as well as a kind of cool skip as well. So if you don't know anything about the sequel to Ori and the Blind Forest, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, the big thing is that Ori has like weapons and like there's actual combat in the game, in addition to it being a really cool, beautiful puzzle platforming Metroidvania. And this run has some really cool skips. Like this first skip here is called Ofer Skip, and it skips a bunch of dialogue, if I remember correctly, so that you can get right into his shop. And then you pick up Sentry, and you fly in the air, because Sentry spawns this like little dude, and then you're able to use a sword slash in that spawn and just launch yourself up in the air. And that's like the bread and butter speed tech of the run. It's really cool.
Never played it, man. It's going
to be a very, very fun run. My partner did runs of Ori 2 as well. And yeah, it's a really cool game.
Really beautiful game. Sick. I just feel like I always see Ori, I'm like, oh man, this is pretty.
It is gorgeous. Yeah, I've played a few of these. I remember Braid. Braid's a real old school one. That might be on the schedule too, actually, I think. Braid.
It's in like a different.
Yeah, I mean, visually impressive. Hollow Knight, that sort of thing. People go crazy over these games.
All right, let me throw in what I think is going to be maybe one that both Fru and I are interested in, which is Dragon Age Origins is a wild speed run. I think I want to highlight the thing that I got for this, which is the I always love Western RPGs that let you just bork the game at the time of character creation. Like, I think that's so essential.
Oh, really?
And so, like, because I was watching this, right? I was watching this video, trying to be like, all right, what's going on here? And you just see him like constantly going back and forth between it, and the numbers just start going up and up and up. It's just like, oh no, why do we have hundreds of magic? Like, this was never supposed to have been done.
It's so good.
So
those kinds of exploits are awesome. At the very, very beginning, being able to just like immediately break the game is super, super fun. There's like the two sides of it with Western RPGs. There's like either working within the bounds of what you have, or just like completely breaking it right from the very beginning. Yeah,
I feel like Dragon Age Origins is great because it has, I think, a lot of the different flavors of the Western RPG breaking. Because not only, I mean, I highlighted this, like I saw the character creation thing and like I thought this was like the play. But I think Mr. Fru, so the guests of course had to send me their video clips ahead of time. So I knew ahead of time some of the games that we brought up. I'm going to get your video clip. You want to give your pitch for Dragon Age Origins?
Right. So I don't know too much about this run, but of course it's BioWare RPG. It's Western RPG. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a little jank. You know, I specifically remember there being at least one Dragon Age title that was rough around the edges. I don't think it was this one, but a couple things I noticed that interested me. The estimate for this is an hour, but the world record I think is 40 minutes, and that's RTA, right? So the big float is interesting between like estimate and like expected runtime, and then this clip is just insane. Like, I don't know what happens, I don't know what's going on, and it's probably part of the reason, of course, this is being chosen for the event. And I remember reading a speedrun thread, r/speedrun, everybody's favorite website. There was a thread where somebody asked, is there a run where they actually like play through the game? So I want to see exactly how they don't play through the game. Particularly, I'm sure it involves something to do with just walking straight out of bounds, having glitched character stats. I'm sure there's a lot going on. And also, I love to give shout-outs to games that document things well, and I think Dragon Age Origins, actually, I was impressed with their documentation in terms of like route, glitches, all that, even like beginner-friendly stuff. It's really cool. They've got an entire like Google Doc. It's in English and French, I think, so take your pick. And they both cover like two different routes, so that's really cool. It's color-coded and everything. It's got nice graphics, so they're doing good work over there. I'm excited to see how they bring this to the table.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to this one. Now, of course, unfortunately, folks, if you're coming, and Plywood is being delayed by weather, so we can't get his picks right now. I think the last point we got to give out is from do you have another pick, Mr. Fru?
Yeah, so there was another one, I think, later in the day, later on Sunday. I don't exactly remember when, if it's late night, early morning, but Otagi Myth of Demons. I gave that one a point. I don't know anything about this game, but it sounds dank. Okay, and when I say
like that, yeah.
Well, when I say dank, what I mean is, somebody asked me this today when I was streaming. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know what I mean when I say dank. Really, it's got a feeling, right? It just evokes something within you. And the clip right now, it's just showing off some cool movement. That looks pretty cool. Some sort of sword thrusting, platforming going on. Some sort of blink forwards. There's good voice acting as well. Apparently, that's what I heard anyway. And this is an Xbox exclusive, I think. And there's some games I think lost to time right now, just kind of stuck on the original Xbox platform, like Blink's the Time Sweeper. My probably personal pick for random ass Xbox game.
What is this?
Blink's the Time Sweeper. You just sweep up time with a vacuum. But right now we're talking about Otage.
Okay, sorry.
No, I mean, I love original Xbox games because like there's a bunch of mech games that are stuck on that platform, and this one, I mean, I think I had been saying Otage is definitely another one that I'm interested in. I was on the fence between this and this one and Light Matter for being my third pick. So no, I'm glad you brought it up because it's definitely it's interesting. It's got cool movement, and it's just got a great Xbox aesthetic. It's just really neat.
For sure, and I'm definitely looking for like commentary on this one too, because this is your chance to bring your game, you know, to the largest speedrun showcase you possibly could have. So when it comes to a game like Otage, you know, what's Otage? I'm not sure. Whichever one, you know, like. I'm just looking forward for how they sell it. You know, what is this game? Any backstory they have about the game, personal anecdotes, anything they might know that the general audience just otherwise wouldn't, outside of things like glitch tech. You know, these sorts of showcases can be good for just that background information. And I'm interested to hear if there's any mysteries with the Myth of Demons.
Cool. Well, I think that should wrap up our first day. I want to note that Otage. So I decided to make the cutoff 5 a.m. to 5 a.m. Eastern, just, you know, because I didn't know from where I'd be getting guests. So I was like, I just need to decide on something, and you know, it'll probably be more North American centric. So I'll just make it sort of kind of fit in, you know, with West Coast time as well. This one is 4:40 a.m. for East Coast, so you might not be catching it live if you're East Coast, but certainly if you're EU, this will probably be a very pleasant afternoon run for you for Otage. So that should be exciting. Let me split then, and we'll get on. Let's see. So this is now Monday. I think I will. Oh wait, I forgot to write down things.
Yeah,
doing too much production here.
So, you know how I mentioned I've got some convince me picks? Well, guess who knows absolutely nothing about any of the runs on Monday? I looked down the list and I was like, man, I've never watched any of these. I feel horrible about that. But I'm sure that these are all really cool games, and I'm definitely going to be paying attention on Monday because I need to get educated. I guess there are some runs that I'm excited for that I don't know anything about that I could point out. Here, we'll only do two convince me points. Give a point towards Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair, because I'm interested. I know nothing about it, and I'm interested. It's the sequel to the not fantastically good, but I mean it was pretty good. I mean, a Kickstarter legend Yooka-Laylee, spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie. Not the best game, but had a lot to talk about it. And this game is much better. And like from a game standpoint, but it didn't get talked about as much. I'm very excited to see what the speedrun looks like and what 24Bs means. It's very interesting to me.
No, that's a strong one.
I played the Yooka-Laylee. I was a little interested in the run for it at one time because I thought it was a great love letter to just that era of game, and you know, never something I really picked up, but they also had good documentation. So good, we're doing good work in speedrunning when anybody just with some random schmo joke and just sit down and maybe learn something from a video or two. That's really cool. It's good. So always glad to see that.
All right, I have one that I really want to get on the stand for, which is Wild Arms. I am here to talk about Wild Arms. So
what is Wild Arms?
Wild Arms is a PlayStation 1 RPG, and it is a game that was definitely like near and dear to me. Chrome is just deciding to put Windows wherever. It's a game that's near and dear to my heart. And when I started watching speedruns, one of the first runs I started watching was Wild Arms, specifically by a runner named Chaos Twitch. Chaos Twitch is running it at AGDQ. He's been trying to get it into AGDQ for years. He has taken it to RPG Limit Break a bunch of times. He's a really nice, quiet guy, and he's been working so hard on this game for so long. Has collaborated with a bunch of other English-speaking and Japanese-speaking runners. And so the part that I'm showing off right now, the game has an early mechanic where it allows you to switch between characters even if like they're not in the same dungeon, and that can be abused to sort of just warp a character halfway through the game. The game also has other classic exploits. You can underflow items, so you can underflow stat apples and boost your stats, which is pretty good. So it's got it's got a bunch of JRPG exploits, and it's got crazy warps. So like right now, she just dropped there because they just freaked the game out. That's like literally halfway through the game, just vanishes right there. It's a super broken run. There's out of bounds tech where you can skip the triggers that are supposed to take you to the next map and then walk around the edge of the map. There's just so much going on. It's a really, really broken RPG. I mean, as you can tell, the category is no ace. So yeah, the game has ace as well. You can do RTA. It's just based, I think, on your item, like layout of items in your menu. I'm very, very, very excited about it. So
it's more stressful.
We'll see. So anyway, that's my pitch for that one. I'm very, very excited.
That thing about like warping characters across the map and stuff, that just seems like a crazy oversight. It's wild to me. I don't know.
It's such an oversight that there's actually a speedrun they do using a demo version of the game where they're able to break out of the demo using that exploit and then get to the end of that build. Like it was a build that was put out before the game was released. And so like a lot of the enemies don't have the right colors, a bunch of things are missing, but you can still beat the game using the demo disc that was put out. It's very funny.
That's really cool. Also, I am a Nintendo kid through and through. I knew that the PlayStation 1 was pretty low resolution, but I didn't know, and I don't know why it didn't occur to me that they would just make games that are pixel art for PS1. I thought they were all just like really low res, low poly games. Like I thought every single PS1 game was a low res, low poly game. So it's good to know that there are other ones too. So
Wild Arms is a pretty early PS1 game, so it's got the battles are 3D, like you're thinking of. That would be low polygon, but then the overworld is like what was shown in the clip.
Heck yeah, nice.
Fru, what do you got?
Okay, so Monday.
It's a lot of Sonic runs. I know nothing about Sonic.
Yeah, there's like we got some Sega, we got some Genesis, we got some Sonic, we got in the evening starts kicking in the PC games. That's when the PCs come out to play. It's when the sun goes down. So that really personally excites me, and that's why I gave my first point of Monday to oh my god, I spelled it as Turk in my notes. I think it's Turok. Is it Turk?
It's Turok. It's Turok.
It's Turok.
It's
Why
Turok.
on earth?
The dinosaurs are here to collect you, sir.
Well, if there's anybody I don't want to piss off, it's dinosaurs. So the Dinosaur Hunter game. No, I think this game is just, I've never played it. I think it's so cool though. It's I wrote down old school Quake vibes. The movement is a little more measured, in Quake you've got rocket jumping, you got boost, you got all sorts of crazy nonsense going on. Here you're going around stabbing dinosaurs. And I thought this clip had some cool movement, some cool dinosaur stabbing. I watched Balk run this live at GDQX 2018. I had a grand old time, man. It might have been because I just came from the Twitch partner party, and it might have been a little turnt there, but I had a great time. I had a great time watching this one live. So I'm looking forward to seeing it again, because any developments, anything that's going to catch me off guard, I don't know. But that's why I gave it a point, because I want to find out.
Yeah, no, I ended up doing the same. I also gave this one a point. Especially, I think watching this, there's like the one part up here where he starts jumping on like columns in the middle of a canyon, and like I would immediately just panic and cry. Like, I was like, I can't handle this. This is too much for me.
First-person Quake-like shooters are super fun to watch. I know nothing about them. I could never play them like this, but they're super entertaining.
No, I'm looking forward to this, because like the environments were so like cool too. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, totally.
The foliage, the dinosaurs, a lot of cool factor.
I know that this is a game that is obviously a bit older, but this is like, it's reminding me of Dusk. I know that Dusk is a newer game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Dusk definitely, I think, took inspiration from this era of the genre. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah.
All right. Should I throw out another one, Amber? Or are you ready to? I think you said you had 2 more floaters for today. Right?
I had 2 more floaters. I'm liking. I do like Wild Arms quite a bit, but what else do you have for me?
All right. I will. I had another one that I wanted to throw out, which was. Oh, I think that we might also. This might be a case where Fur and I overlap again, because I also wanted to throw out Dark Messiah of Might and Magic, which is just an astonishing looking run. Let me get the clip that I think you had.
The name looked familiar, but I don't know anything about it. Again,
I love this game, man. It's so. It's old school Source. It's not quite as old school Source as like Vampire the Masquerade. I think that was that game.
I've played some of the Might and Magic series before, but
this is not. I think this is going to be a little different, right?
Okay, fair enough.
It's first person Source engine.
I'm looking at the stream right now, and just immediately it starts off. Starts off well.
Yeah, it's great. There's a lot of good movement, a lot of barrel clips, maybe some NPC manipulation. I don't know. I just old school Source that just inspires a certain dank or rather jank, because it's definitely, it was like the first, maybe not the first, but one of the earliest engines with like fully fledged physics, right? So it's not too robust, but it's just exploitable enough to get some fun stuff happening. So I'm looking forward to it. I tried to play this game when it was new. I tried to play the demo of it. I just could not get it to run on my PC. It was not behaving. So it's funny. Yeah, it's funny looking at this game now because it just looks old, right? And at the time, it was just like 3 FPS on my Hewitt Packard, man, and it's just like that was it. That was what we were trying to get at the time, the pinnacle. I think this was like pre-Crisis. I don't know, but yeah, I gave this one 2 points because.
Oh, that's right. This was one of the things I alluded to was the cheating. So because I think I had said 3 point, like at 1 point to each of 3 games. And you're like, what if I could give 2 points to one game? And I was like, whatever. The man's going to commit crimes. I can't do anything about it.
Yeah, hey, look. That's how you really make a statement, right? 1 point, 1 point, 1.2. Boom. That's how you know. That's how you know it's good.
Did you have any others trilogy?
I think my 3 were Wild Arms, Turok, and Dark Messiah were the 3 I had picked.
And then Turok, Dark Messiah.
So if you got floaters you want to give out, you can also wait for Plywood's picks too.
So here's what I'm thinking. Okay. I'm thinking throw a point towards Wild Arms, and my Just Cause 3 point, no offense, but Plywood might be stealing that one away from you.
No, that's fair.
We'll see. We're going to have to give a run back with Plywood. Plywood's going to have some convincing to.
Okay. All right. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see what Plywood has in store for us in the future. But I think that will then conclude Monday. We can move on to Tuesday. Now, I was the one who said Dark Messiah first, so I'm going to make Fruit throw out a run here as I scroll down to where Tuesday starts.
Tuesday. So, PMC has alluded to maybe faults in my character of changing up the rules a little bit. Given 2 points, given I didn't give 3 points. I'm not that crazy, but so we're jumping into Tuesday. What I saw from Tuesday was a lot of NES games, a lot of Mega Man. And then later on, we got the horror block. I know a lot of horror speedrunners. I don't know why. It's just something that happens, Anyway, my good friend Maxilobes is running Fear. Now, I know I've talked a little bit about maybe not being too nepotist and maybe trying not to bend the rules as much. And that's why I gave 2 points to Fear. Because I may or may not be on this couch. And I may or may not have run this game in the past. And I think I definitely let my subjective opinion throw in some bias here. Now, this clip, this is just why you should watch this run, man. He shoots a laptop. He's on the second story. That's just how it works. What is that thing? I don't know. Why is there a robot here? I don't know. I never really get the story there. I just do things like this. I just use ladders to suspend gravity, and then we just fly to the end of the level. That's the sort of things I do when I play Fear. I don't know about you. I think on a serious note, I think this game is a great run. It definitely, you know, I'm surprised at how short the runner list actually is for this one, because I find this to be a memorable, maybe not foundational FPS, but definitely one of the sort of golden age of FPS. Right? It's a nice campaign, good, great. Actually fairly long campaign, but you know the speedrun comes in at just under an hour. There's a lot of out of bounds. And it's the Lithtech engine, and there's something about Lithtech. I don't know if it's the ghosts that are in the programs or not, but it definitely inspires a certain nuance in FPS runs that you don't get anywhere else. And I think that's why I gave this one 2 points, and definitely has nothing to do. Yeah.
Hey, Fru.
Yo.
I know absolutely nothing about FPS runs. What is that engine? Just enlighten me.
So Lithtech, that's the engine from Monolith. That's their sort of flagship technology. Lithtech, Monolith. They've done games. They did the Shadow Mordor games, the Middle Earth games. Mm-hmm. Probably later, of course. Coming along later, but Lithtech. I mean, this broken. Yeah, it's an engine, you know, specifically when you get into older games, you know, PMCS and Lithtech experience. He ran Die Hard Nakatomi Plaza. That was a Lithtech game. It's
an engine that not only did this company Monolith make a bunch of games, a lot of which were well liked, but also it got licensed to a lot of budget game makers. And so, yeah, so like for example, there's a Polish developer who put out a ton.
It just has a bad reputation or something like that.
I don't think bad. I think just janky a little bit.
A reputation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Things happen. Things definitely happen.
It's an interesting canvas for an FPS game, right? It's just this.
Also, I can't resist Lithtech. I think everything that Free said, you know, I'm on board with. Of course, I've run, you know, other Lithtech games. Die Hard Nakatomi Plaza. I ran Shogo at GDQX last year. So that's the very first Lithtech game. Yeah, remember Shogo? The very first Lithtech game.
I forget that Shogo's Lithtech.
Yeah. So I'm right there with you. It's just good stuff. It's just Lithtech.
Nice. Oh, you gave this one a point then, PMC.
I did. I couldn't not. I love this run too much. You know, I got to go with my heart. All right.
I have two PC games to put on this list for today. I'm not just a Nintendo runner.
Let's hear it.
What we got?
Well, the first one I just want to touch on really quickly. I'm excited to see Big Law run Tony Hawk's Underground 2. Thug is a very fun game. The Tony Hawk games are really fun. Also excited for Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. So I guess actually all three of my games are PC games. Put my points towards the Tony Hawk games.
Oh, and then also 1 and 2 as well.
Yeah, and and the other one too. Yeah, okay. And then but really the PC game I want to talk about is Hades because of course it's Hades. It's Hades. You got to talk about Hades. So Hades, if you don't know, you got to know. It's a roguelike made by Supergiant Games, the wonderful, incredible indie development studio that doesn't overwork their employees and is mandatory forced vacation days. They're industry pioneers. Hades is just a super fun game, and Vorim is the best runner of the game in my opinion and in many other people's opinions. As far as just general knowledge of the game and ability to go insanely fast. And the run that Vorim is running is 3 weapons, and if I remember correctly, there's a donation incentive for it to be upgraded to an all weapons category. Ooh. So half the game or all the game, at least all of the different styles of playing through a run of the game. There's 6 different weapons in the game, and there's an attack, there's a special attack, which is like just a secondary move, and then there's a cast, like ranged attack that you have a couple bits of ammo of it, and then it refreshes and stuff. Or you have to pick it up after it dislodges from enemies. And I know for a fact that the 3 weapon run at the very least is still going to highlight a bunch of different ways that you can go fast in the game. There's a shield run that uses there are different aspects in the weapons. Sorry, I'm going in all sorts of tangents. There's different way. Each weapon has a bunch of different types of playing the weapon, and the way that Vareem is doing the shield is a cast run, and the way that Vareem is doing the fists is just attack special, melee, and then the last one I believe is Eris Rail, which is going to be a ranged weapon. So there's all sorts of different gameplay styles in addition to it being the three really fast ways to play the game. And the clip that I showed was just him playing really well.
Right.
Good.
It's a super fun run, and it's just going to be a highlight of just like a bunch of things going fast in the game.
Yeah, I always feel like what's really cool too, when you like, for even if you're not familiar with like a game that has a lot of random elements, is seeing the runners respond to those elements in real time. Always. Oh,
yeah, that's the other thing. I didn't even talk about what the run is.
It just demonstrates their depth of knowledge so well. Always,
it's a roguelike. You have to react to random things. You go through rooms, and what drops you get are random, and the bosses that you get are consistent. What enemies are in each room is random. What the rooms are going to be is random, and it's all like Zabogo in chat said. It's roguelike Diablo, 1,000 miles an hour.
All right,
yeah, everybody loves Hades. They do.
They do. People do love Hades. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so let me take a one here. I've been watching. I didn't think I would fall in love with this speedrun as much as I did, but I really do love watching Waifu play Left 4 Dead 2 speedruns. There's something about like this version of the source engine which is really compelling. There's a surprising number of little tricks. The clip I'm showing is the jumping up the on a specific patch you can get up this roller coaster just by hopping around. It's got some good bee hopping where you can develop a surprising amount of speed. There's like god spots where you can avoid zombies. It's just this all sorts of neat tech. You can prevent lethal explosion, like lethal fall damage, by like chucking a gas grenade and using the explosion to like knock yourself to interrupt your fall. Just a lot of really fun tech. I think Waifu does a good job of commentary, and so I'm just really really excited to see this one on the big stage.
Next we have the barn, which is
that's something I never really expected to see a lot of is Left 4 Dead speedrunning, right? Well, at least not in terms of single player. So I'm interested to see what kind of nuances or facets you have with this, because it's I think it's designed to be a 4-player co-op, and you can see he just immediately executes his partners, sort of in the safe room, because why let them slow you down? So yeah, and it's a very, from my experience playing Left 4 Dead, it's a game where you're kind of walking a tightrope at all times if you're like the last one alive, because there's a lot of times where you just get like stuck and you need a friend to help you out. Like, oh, you got smoked by a smoker or pinned down by a tank or whatever, just these situations
designed to be played 4-person multiplayer.
Yeah, so obviously the speedrun has to super, navigate that some way. So I'm interested to see, to see that in its full form.
Fruit, what else you got?
Let's see, Tuesday. Okay, so my last point I gave to look, okay, I love Ecdysis, man. Love Ecdysis. He's an excellent human, in my opinion. A great guy, and a lot of fun, and runs a great stream, and he plays literally just too many games. He plays too many games, and one of these games he's playing is Haunting Ground. And I don't know. This is not really a game I'm familiar with, but it's right down his road. He got his start sort of with Clock Tower games, and I think this is, if nothing else, at the very least, some sort of spiritual successor to Clock Tower in some way. If not, because it's listed as Clock Tower series on speedrun.com, so there's some affiliation, I'm sure. And this clip here, this just looks like hell, frankly. We have a sliding block puzzle, and you've got I think some AI chasing you. You've got to rely on this dog to keep them at bay. Seems awful, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see this play out, sort of in real time. I'm excited to hear the commentary, because I'm sure he knows just way too much about this game, and it's going to be great. Great showcase, great commentary every time. Watch them live. Great time, great runner.
It really is the appeal of the horror game blocks in GDQs, is like the commentary, the potential for things to go wrong, just the entertainment value. 100%.
Oh yeah. And I'm very excited to see he has like not one but two showcases, I think. So looking forward to them. We'll be trying to catch both of them. 12:38 a.m. Yeah, I can swing that. Yeah, I can be there. Schedule memes aside. So I gave that one a point.
Yeah.
Because looking forward to that one.
So I got one more point that I want to throw out, which is for the run after that. I recently had Retro Brando on the podcast, and I was really impressed by this Jill arrange any percent. I think what's fun about this too is that if you're watching this, like you say you've played Resident Evil before, watching arrange is like completely different. Just because, again, it is what you think it is. It's with items and enemies in different places, and seeing how he deals with that different configuration. It's your standard classic RE speedrunning, which is appealing, and then you get a little bit more with the extra twist. So and also Brando's just a fun guy to listen to.
Yeah,
very very personable. Yeah. So
he is. Brando's sort of won my heart in a random circumstance. It was I think AGDQ 2019. It was kind of late, and it was me, Broseph, and Tippy. We were all in the arcade, and we were going back just up to hotel rooms to chill. And there's a guy playing Wii Shop music on the piano. They used to just have a piano out at GQ, right? He was playing Wii Shop music. It wasn't Brando playing it, but he was just dancing to it. It was like, I don't know, it was like 10 p.m., 11 p.m., and he had moves, man. Wii Shop music moves.
He really dances.
Yeah, and that was awesome. That was just completely random. Just happened to pass by seeing that. I'm like, yeah, that was cool. That was good.
All right. Well, on that note, I think we were wrapped up on Tuesday then, right? I think we all got our points assigned.
Yep.
Awesome. Wednesdays are bad.
No,
I'm kidding.
Now that I know that it's a 5 a.m. cutoff for things, we can throw one more onto Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Because right away to start things,
Yeah,
well, not to start things. Yeah, to start things. 5:03 a.m. Eastern time. I have no idea what to expect, but YP is running Ice Age Scrat's Nutty Adventure.
Oh, this is a good one. I didn't know what this was like, but I watched the VOD for this, and it is good.
Did you? I am going to have to. I'm not going to stay up for it. There's no way. But I'm so excited. I'm excited to watch the VOD because it's going to be a glorious, glorious mess.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Sure.
If you're not awake for it, I would advise doing what Amber's doing. Watch the VOD. I guess I will throw one out because I think this might be one that two people here have requested, because I want to stress, you may have heard King's Quest Mask of Eternity is bad, and the people who told you that might be right. But what if you could do a huge backflip and then clip through a wall? Would that change your mind about watching the speedrun?
Dude, yes. No, yeah. You caught me red-handed because I picked this one too, because my God. I'm just here for this, man. Look at this.
Watching?
Yeah. Seriously, what is happening?
This is video gaming, folks.
What am I watching?
I'm very excited for this.
I have a floater point.
It's got to be this one, Amber. No, I'm telling you. Out of my Wednesday picks, yeah, I put a point to this one. Look at that jump! Look at that jump animation. It's just so he's just loving it. Very excited to see this one. It gives me real virtual highlight vibes. I think Geyer ran that one a year or two back, and that was a fun one because the FPS in that game was so bad that to make turns, he would open the map for higher FPS to move faster. So that's just that sort of thing where it's like, yeah, if your game inspires that sort of strategy for speed, I'm here for it. And I'm looking forward to the King's Quest memes. Yeah.
I also have a favorite speed tech that's like kind of dumb. Like, having to open the map to get higher frame rate is really good. I also really like when you can hold left, and you can also hold left on the D-pad and get double speed. That's pretty good.
That's really good, yeah. I love to add things up to make bigger things. Correct.
It's so goofy. Yeah. Cool.
All right. Who wants to throw in one next? Because I guess we all kind of joined in on that one, so now it's a free-for-all.
I think you're up next.
Oh, okay. I'll throw one out again. You know what? So I think for what else do I have for Wednesday? I'm juggling too many. Oh, you know what? We got a Wednesday. One of the highlight things for Wednesday, and this is going to be. I'm not even really 3D platformers are always kind of hit and miss with me, but the Ratchet and Clank going Commando race with Delwingo and Zem is going to be, I think, the best race of the event. It is, both have been putting so much time into this game. It's a game with a lot of neat movement tech, a lot of flips, things like that. I just think that, in terms of like the live race experience, this is probably going to be the one. I'm definitely going to be. Oh, where is it on? I gotta find it.
But what about the any % race of Epic Dumpster Bear 2? He who bears
that's
wins.
gonna be pretty good.
I don't know. Like at some point, you're so down, you've just buried yourself so deep in meme that it's just like, I don't know. At some point, there's nothing sacred. I mean, come on.
I'm trying to figure out where Bad Games block is in this GDQ.
It kind of starts at night. Actually, I think I was just highlighting it. So, Wand of Gamelon is, I think, basically where it starts.
Oh, yeah.
And then,
but then that means Pinobi is a bad game. I guess I don't know anything about Pinobi. I also put that one on my list.
Okay.
Mostly because Shasta is a good friend of mine.
Shasta's cool. Oh, yeah.
All right. Did I get all the point? Were you putting a point towards the what is it called? Epic Dumpster Bear 2?
No, gosh, no.
Okay. I mean, you could. I don't know.
I don't know anything about it. Then again, I mean, I put my floater point towards King's Quest pretty early.
Mm-hmm.
Let me do some research on Epic Dumpster Bear 2, and I'll get back to you.
All right, Free, what do you got?
Okay, so my next one.
Oh, this game looks amazing. Holy shit.
my next Wednesday pick. So I'm a big fan of we're talking Lith Tech. We're talking Lith Tech. And we're gonna loop around, go back to Lith Tech, because Alcatraz Prison Escape is a Lith Tech, I would say, masterpiece. We've been doing the game for about 20 seconds, as you can see on the screen, and we're already in the air, jumping off guards' heads, and literally flying across what you would presume is Alcatraz or some offshoot of Alcatraz, right? And gotta love TBCR. He plays probably one of the more interesting niches of games, right? Where it's just like old 3D titles that you've never heard of and will never hear of again, like Alcatraz Prison Escape. So I'm really excited for this one. It's a very short run, and it's very broken, man. I don't know anything about this title, but it almost seems like a student project in a way.
Sure.
It just has that sort of vibe. I don't know. It's the voice acting, really. You start the game with other cellmates and you talk to them, and they all sound like they're students in the dorm. So I don't know. And I just love those games, man. I love that kind of game. Sure. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Looking forward to seeing TBCR break.
Did you give 1 or 2 points to this one, criminal?
Funny. Just because I picked the Alcatraz game.
Just because Prison Escape one, yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, I gave that one 2. Huh?
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I broke the rules again.
I would like to retract my point from King's Quest because I saw the trailer for Epic Dumpster Bear 2, He Who Bears Wins, and it kicks ass. And I sent it over to Trilogy because it kicks ass.
It's a game. It sure is a game. Let's see here. We got it up on screen.
We are still in Bad Games block. This game kicks ass.
It's not what I envisioned. Yeah.
It's a game.
It looks a little bit different, yeah. I was picturing like a bad Unity game, like just 3D, but all right, this looks like it has mechanics, so
it's one of those games that's like, it's all clip art, right? It's a bad game from like visual perspective, but I bet this game's got tech.
I think I saw some like Celeste bubbles a moment ago, so we'll see. We'll get, I mean, hey, I don't want to shoot anything down, right?
I put a point towards Ice Age because I'm sure it's going to be a beautiful mess, even though I know nothing about it. I think I know more about this game than I know about Ice Age, and I know with even greater confidence that this game's going to kick ass. I feel more confident about this point than the Ice Age point.
Right on.
All All right. I think that's my 3. And then, did you have a third point? I think, did we get 3 points? We got Epic Dumpster Bear,
We got
Pinnaby.
You got
Ice Age.
mine.
Oh, and Ice Age, right. Of course. All right, cool. Well,
1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. Are you missing a point?
No, I gave mine.
I gave 1 to
2
King's
and 1.
Quest, 1 to Ratchet and Clank, and then, oh, maybe I am missing a point. Aha, the joke's
You're the
on-
criminal.
I'm the criminal. I am the criminal. Oh no, wait, because I forgot to give. I also want to give a point to Prison Escape. Turns out I'm a criminal too. Yeah, spoilers. And with that, split. All right.
Can't wait to be cellmates.
Yeah,
right?
I know. It's we knew that. I mean, it's basically like Seinfeld, right? Like that's the series finale. They all go to jail.
Well, they do. You just spoiled Seinfeld.
Oh, did I just
for me,
spoil
man.
Seinfeld for you? Did you not know that?
No, I didn't know that. I did not know that. I'm also not like intently watching Seinfeld, but all right.
For the plot.
Yeah, especially for the plot. Nice, man.
All right.
Are we going to Thursday?
We're going to Thursday. What do we got for Thursday?
I have a convince me point. So just letting y'all know that ahead of time.
All right.
All right.
Well, in that
Okay.
case, maybe I'll need to do some convincing here. What is my most convincing one that I have? I think the most convincing one I have. I wanna pitch Slow Drive by Bullets. I think this run is a real sleeper, and what I mean is a sleeper hit, of course, because it is wild to watch. Let me get it up here. There we go.
I've got like a 10-second delay on your stream, but it'll pull up eventually.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. No,
So this is like a real
nice.
wild physics game, and it's just got things going on. Like that car just went sideways. Like and the as you get deeper into this run too, there's a lot of really like wild jumps. Like when I was watching this, like it starts out, you're just doing normal stuff, and then you get these different gaps. There's a later part too, which I think I might have actually been one of the ones that Plywood highlighted. There's like an end part where you have to get through a bunch of like gaps. You can see these jumps. Like these jumps are not trivial, especially given it's a soft driving.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of how the vehicle you drive is just like a yellow shitbox. That's good. That really makes it for me.
How does traction even work in this game? Like the tires, I'm trying to figure out this game despite not actually playing it. So like the tires they like to stick to the road. But
look
also,
at this. Look at this. This is when it comes up for you. He's trying to get across this gap here.
Oh,
This thin rod.
Oh god. Yeah, that's good. No, this will be fun. That'll be a fun watch.
It's fun.
I almost got stuck.
No, this is a good
This
one.
looks wild. Yeah.
It's fun to play too. Yeah.
Traction barely exists. Awesome. That's like my favorite kind of traction.
All right, what else we got? Give me a game.
You want to? Okay. So, yeah, Thursday to Friday. What caught my eye? We got some early morning. It seems like some early morning bad games. I don't know, it's sort of a catch-all, not really catch-all, but there's some themes like bad games, some FPS, and I wrote down late night dank, whatever that means. I don't know what that means. I think what it might mean is, I gave a point to the Mummy by our good friend Nick Dices. He's coming up again. It's just, it's a licensed, I think PSX game. And
right.
And he runs goofy, so like you're hitting all the check marks with me. Those are like the top 3 things. Is it licensed? Is it old? Is it goofy? Okay, here you go. He's just blasting some zombies. Again, I don't know much about this game in terms of tech. I don't think really anybody runs this game. I was looking at the speedrun.com leaderboard. It's one of these leaderboards where there's a lot of categories. They have a lot of categories in horror speedruns. They got like Ending A, New Game Plus, Hub, World 3, and it's just like, okay, sure. Yeah. Is it fun to watch?
is this Mummy a video game adaptation of the 1999 film The Mummy, or is it the remake, or is it the 1932 film The Mummy?
It's the Brendan Fraser Mummy. It's
it's the Brendan Fraser. Oh, hell yeah. Okay.
So you are Brendan Fraser. This is how Brendan Fraser runs in real life.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, it's a partial completion category.
Does it touch on any of the sequels or spin-offs? Like, do we get to see Dwayne The Rock Johnson as the Scorpion King in this film or in this game?
I don't think so. I mean, you probably know there are Scorpion King games, but I don't think this game touches on any of that stuff.
I didn't know there were Scorpion King games, actually.
There's the one on portable on GBA.
The Mummy has like this huge extended universe that Wikipedia is telling me all about right now.
That's nuts. That's just so nuts.
Way forward.
I did not know that the Mummy and the Scorpion King were in the same universe until literally 25 seconds ago.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad we could educate here on OverBoost.
Glad we could unwrap that one for you. Unwrap the Mummy.
Much.
It's my new Mummy podcast.
There are 2 more in the Brendan Fraser arc. God, why?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on before I hurt myself.
No worries. So yeah, that was my point. 1 point for Mummy. I'm here for it. I'm excited.
No, that's a good answer.
It's probably not a great game. I don't know. I don't know. It could be a sleeper hit. I don't know, but he'll tell me. He'll tell. I'll listen to him. I'll believe anything he says.
Commentary.
Yeah, I'll believe anything he says. I shouldn't say it too loud. You can't manipulate me. Yes, you can do that.
Amber, what do you got for us?
Sure. So one that I know for sure is I Want to Be the Fan Game by Walsk. If you don't know anything about Guy fan games, I Want to Be the Guy is it's a classic hard as hell precision platformer sort of, but it also has a ton of memes in it. And I Want to Be the Fan Game is like the I Want to Be the Guy of I Want to Be the Guy games, because I Want to Be the Guy took a bunch of these memes and then made a game about it. And then I Want to Be the Fan Game took a bunch of fan game memes and then made a really good fan game about fan game memes. And then there's also this Pokemon bit that I think is really cool where you're playing in Pokemon and then there's Bulbasaur and Charmander. You have to avoid them and stuff. There's some really, really good, clever stuff in this game. And it's going to be very entertaining.
But yeah, these sorts of games are cool that are just like pop culture love letters. It's cool.
Totally.
I just want to say real quick, it is incredibly cool that GDQ chooses to showcase all of these things, which are just incredible levels of infringement.
Oh yeah,
I'm incredibly here for this. This is why you'll never hear me complain about, even if I'm not like a huge 2D platformer guy, like all of the hacks, pile them on. Let's get more. Let's go.
The key is to throw so many copyright infringements out there that they can't even begin to sue you.
Yeah, it's sort of overwhelming people with Anyway, I don't think we've heard from you in a minute, PMC.
Oh, you want to hear from me? Well, I guess I could throw something out there. See what else I got in store for Thursday. Okay, so another classic one. You can probably figure out so far from the games that I've picked that I just love jagged, horrible pixels. So that means that naturally we need to take a second to look at Vigilance. This is by Fireman. Fireman, of course, ran a Millennium Racer, which is for the most part the only thing anyone knows about him. But because that's what he likes to talk about. But I also knew about this game, Vigilance, which has just the best run cycle and the best polygons. And I don't know. Wait.
I do love when you get up against a wall.
The strafing animation hurts my soul.
I love just sort of the flailing of the gun, like when you're up against walls and you just point it straight up. It's so good. I think
you're giving a point to this one too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
PMC got me. I picked a point for this one. Never played this game, never want to. I'll happily watch the pixels jag someone else's eyes. In this case, Fireman's. I have a long personal, let's say, vendetta / history / rivalry with Fireman, as he has perused my chat for many years. I think many years, kind of shilling, mostly Millennium Racer. He might have mentioned this game at other points, but eventually, he did bring Millennium Racer to GDQ, and as I understand, that was great. And it's one of these things where It's another benefit of an online mainline event, because I don't think he would be able to make it over to America typically. So I'm very excited that he has this outlet now to just sort of demonstrate his level of jank. You know, he's like TBCR in that way. They both, I'm sure they have a lot of overlapping games where it's just horrible 3D things. That's not how you climb a ladder. Like, that's not how I do it, man. Like,
I just sort of jump into it and just like flop up it like a fish going up a waterfall, you know?
Yeah, so I did write down that I'm curious to see what he's hiding from us. Because if he talks about nothing but Millennium Racer, is this game just that horrible that you can't even unearth its name without like the Pandora's box level of terrible coming forth and, you know, unleashing a plague on your village? I don't know. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see Vigilance in action.
All right. How about another one from you, Amber?
I don't have a clip for this one. But the Deus Ex bid war between the original versus the 2 new games in the franchise, ran by Heinke. Heinke is just really, really good at Deus Ex. All of the Speed games, that franchise is his child, as far as I know. And personally, I have not played the original, but Human Revolution and Mankind Divided are some of the only first-person PC games that I've actually played through to completion. Both of, like, I don't do that with games, with especially the kind of games that y'all play and y'all run. I feel very out of place in this podcast, actually, but I'm excited to see this Deus Ex run, because at least with the two newer games, I really like those games from a casual perspective. I'm excited to see how they get broken. I remember watching a Human Revolution run many years ago that was fairly broken, and I'm interested if it gets picked to see how much more broken it is now.
Was that also Heinke running Human Revolution, or was that someone else?
I believe it was a Heinke who ran it a few years ago. Yeah.
The thing I always remember about Heinke runs is that, like, first off, everything you said about him is true. He's very good at all these games, always puts on a good show, but he's also always the person who like in the way of like a PG-13 movie, always gets in like one really good obscenity. And like not in like he doesn't mean to do it intentionally, but like he always just has that like PG-13 level of like, oh, like this bad thing happened, and it's not even a criticism, because it's not really a problem. It's just kind of funny that he always does it. It's very it's just like he always finds a way, and like, you know, and it's not a big deal, and, you know, we all continue on, but
no, Heinke is great, great, talented player, and just very a kind soul, like a super warm person. So very excited to see him you know, able to step up, play some Deus Ex for us all. Like, once again, very good.
Another one I wanted to highlight was I wasn't sure I was ready to be sold on this, but the Sammy Sarakit game in Lionland is mesmerizing. It is absolutely wild, just to like visually look at. I unfortunately I copied the wrong link, so let me get it up here. It's worth just like seeing in action. It is very, very bizarre.
I have some of the
any game that says all levels and is 15 minutes long usually has something good going on about it.
You know, I have some of the Polish crew, you know, in my chat. Good, my jeez.
Look at this, right? This is a looker.
Yeah. I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh, that timer. No, but yeah. So they also like to shill Cal the Kangaroo to me, as being like, you know, an award-winning speed game, and this is that. What is happening? What are you doing? They were like spamming quick save or something.
Yeah,
just now, right?
That was my conclusion too, based on watching, is they're doing something to lag out and clip.
Yeah, looks right. Jeez,
good.
What this is some level design here. Yeah.
All I can really say is,
Spamming M to change the MIDI playing.
Oh god,
that's
worse.
A crime.
That's worse. It should have been quick. I liked it better when I thought it was quick save or something. That's good.
Put my point here. Put my convince me point here. Spamming him to change the MIDI play and
No,
convince
that's good. That's good. That's a fair
fan.
answer.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
so we got
of course she is.
an extra point for that one. So I think that means the last point of the day. I think we need from you, Fru, right?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so if you know a little bit about my background, you know, I'm at some point, you know, deep down in my soul, I have a lot of heart, love, and affection for Half-Life series, Half-Life 1, Half-Life 2. I've done a lot of, I've spent a lot of time in the mod community. I have some work in a mod that's on Steam of mine, and you know, I've also run Half-Life in my own time, and it's very hard. I think this is a run that's evolved a lot over the time. You wouldn't think it because it's like pure movement. But it has, like, they used to run it on hard, and now they run it on easy, which I prefer greatly because hard is damn hard. Here's some infinite health door. This is one of the more iconic tricks of the run. This door is scripted to do -1 damage to you. They got it backwards. Most doors do 1 damage. They did -1, so of course it heals you every frame. And yeah, probably one of the more famous doors in video games. You want to talk about famous video game doors?
Is that
that's
your new
my
podcast?
That's and my next video. Yeah. It's gonna be a real hit. Anyway, you know, this is a classic run, Half-Life, one of the first speedruns that I ever saw. Sick movement, sick combat, sick strats. For the most part, Barney Skip sucks, but anyway, yeah, just a real winner.
I have something small to say about this run. Moody is running it, and I work with Calithon, and we were originally going to be doing a source showcase of a bunch of different Half-Life, Portal, and there was going to be like a Momentum mod showcase and a bunch of stuff, and we were going to have Moody run, I think, this category. And unfortunately, we ended up having to scrap it because a lot of things were going on in the US that required more attention. But it's really cool that that's happening now.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, Half-Life. Juan scriptless, the category. Basically, just means, you know, it's you in the game. Go for it.
One refers to the engine version or something, right? Because it was pre-Steam.
Yeah,
the history lesson, I guess, here.
Because like Steam did some weird things with like the physics. I think you can't. There's like a speed cap in the Steam version, maybe, but and one I think either doesn't have a speed cap or it's much higher. And something with bunny off physics. Anyway, yeah, it's just the better version, better game to run.
Cool. Well, I think that then closes the door on Thursday. So maybe. Amber, do you want to give a game for Friday?
Am I gonna get shot if I say Super Mario Sunshine?
No, that's a perfectly reasonable thing to say.
Because SMS has been being pushed, and Ndide is back and better than ever. And I'm honestly super stoked for this run. I don't have a clip for it, but it's happening at prime time on Friday night, and y'all should definitely check it out. It's gonna be a highlight of the event just across the board. It's a big name game, and I'm super stoked for it. Honestly, legitimately, yeah. Absolutely. Nothing too special about it, though. It's SMS.
Sometimes you just need the good runner and the good game. Like, you just got to have some of those anchors to hold you down, and that's
and a Friday prime time. I think it's exactly what this GDQ needs.
I didn't give a point. But I almost gave a point to Super Mario 64. So it is possible for me to be convinced of the good of Nintendo. So it's not something you're gonna get shot for here. Absolutely not. Because there's real merit in like in SM64 and SMS, and especially if you get those back to back, the 16-star blindfolded, if they meet that, which I'm sure they will, and then the 80% SMS. That's great. Yeah, this estimate is lower than I would expect, 122. So yeah, I'm excited to see how they push that game. Oh yeah.
All right, well, I guess I will take a swing next then with a Friday pick. I wanted to especially highlight the game that I think is going to be the less known of the ones that I wanted to highlight, which is the The Oddworld Stranger's Wrath, I think, is a interesting run. Wait a second here. Let me just back it up just a second here. So this actually has a lot going on.
This looks cool.
With movement, and also with like your typical sort of first-person shooter, jump in a bunch of places you're not supposed to be jumping. It's a really, really interesting run. I was really impressed by what I saw when watching it. So I don't really know too much about it, but like I just watched it and it immediately just impressed me with the stuff that was going on, with the tricks that the runner was going for. So yeah, this is one I'm gonna be curious because I feel like this is gonna be one of those runs where I just benefit from seeing, like, from hearing the marathon commentary, right? Like I don't know what we're skipping here. We're doing something, but I don't know what it is, and so I'm really excited to see like. So we're just sort of carving up the downtown street to avoid something.
Yeah, like definitely in my research for this pod, I watched a few runs, mini runs, and some of them were lacking commentary, which is as it happens. You're streaming or you're not using a microphone or whatever, and there's definitely some context loss to what I'm seeing that I'm excited for. It's not like a detraction in the moment where it's like, oh, I wish I could hear more. It's more like, oh, I'm excited to hear more when I see it live. So. Yeah, that definitely one I think falls under that category because this game, it just looks cool. Like I don't know what that gun was, a crossbow with like a creature on it. I don't know, what the hell is that? I don't know. It's just
Who
cool.
knows?
Who knows?
There's a new Oddworld game coming out pretty soon that looks really good and looks nothing like that. So
I think Stranger's Wrath was like a deviation from the series and being a first-person shooter.
Yeah.
I think the standard is the sort of like 2D puzzle, like the new one that's coming out.
Yep. It's kind of like, never mind. Forgot it. Doesn't matter.
Oh, yo.
A run.
All right. So, I like to talk about myself. So I like to talk about myself a little bit before I introduce my picks. So, what? Come on. You mentioned it yourself. If you want someone on the podcast, give them to talk about themselves.
Right.
That's
true. It's true. So, it does work. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I love the RTS genre. I do. Warcraft 3 is not one I brushed up against very much. I didn't play the remaster. It just came out a while ago. There was some controversy with that. I don't know. I'm not really an authoritative matter on the subject, but I played way too much StarCraft 2. And so I became deeply appreciative of that genre. And definitely that was the time when I was just getting into esports. So I have a lot of love for like RTS campaigns and stuff, especially when it's something that sort of died on the wayside in the last, generation cycle of games, what have you. So I'm really looking forward to not only Covert Muffin stepping up.
This is his bread and butter genre too.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing I've really bonded over Covert with personally. I know Covert is a great guy. A lot of fun. Was on a couch with him at GDQ. It was a great time. And, it feels like he, talking to me, he really takes a personal interest in you, I think, like as a person. I really appreciate that. So, it just warms my heart seeing his face and seeing his name on that schedule. So absolutely looking forward to a Muffin Run. Night Elf campaign. I don't know. I played a Night Elf in WoW. But I know nothing about their like campaign, so
You're not a huge Night Elf person. You didn't just play WoW.
No, yeah, I just played. I was kind of an imposter. I'm like, what they did to Teldrassil was messed up. Okay, that's just come on, really. So yeah, that's my point. 1 point to Warcraft 3, and I think it's going to be cool just as a demonstration of just like micro and APM. I don't know if Covert's a particularly high APM player, but it's definitely Warcraft 3. It's more of a hero RTS anyway. It's not strictly that, but yeah, no, I'm just interested to see the optimizations. Really, It's always unique.
Amber, you got another one for us?
I have one. I'm trying to find a clip of it real quick first.
All right. Well, I can stall if you need me to stall.
You could just pull up the trailer on YouTube. You don't. It doesn't have to be.
Sure.
It doesn't necessarily have to. Right. It's happening super late at the end of the day. or actually no, right in the morning, I believe. Or am I thinking of the wrong day? Friday,
Right.
5 a.m. Right? Any percent?
Right.
Oh, there you go.
GC,
Right. Yeah. Okay. When you're
Right
right,
is
you're
a
right.
right is a precision platformer with a couple of really cool mechanics. The one that I know about the most is that it is completely grid based. So like it's not just a pixel art precision platformer, but all of the blocks, like where you're landing, is all on a grid, so it's pretty predictable. And that lets the developers like up the challenge in level design because you know exactly what to expect with each like little bit. And I don't know, I like seeing precision platformers done fast.
Man. I like this art style. Man, it's like busy and simple at the same time. It's interesting. There's a lot going on like in the scenes. I'm definitely getting some, I don't know, Super Mario World vibes from this a bit. You know,
It's
cool.
it's a grid-based, pixel-based precision platformer that's half coordinated, does runs of it, but Lyncher is doing the run at GDQ. It's a very, very, very cool game.
I don't think I've heard of this one.
Yeah, I feel like I feel bad now because I don't think I recognize the name of the game, which means I should have looked it up. Of course, I probably still wanted to pick it because there's some other things I'm going to shout out, but yeah, these are always impressive, just like the technical level of mastery, and this certainly seems to have quite a bit of that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Well, let me throw out one then, which is I'm just going to throw out a shout out to Froob doing Yakuza 6, the Song of Life, getting another Yakuza game in. I think SGDQ was the first Yakuza, and now right back-to-back events we have another Yakuza run. What's really interesting about Yakuza as a series is that all of the runs actually end up being pretty different because, as it turns out, usually a different thing is broken in each one of them, whether that be guns or like weapons or certain kinds of attacks or how you level up. And so it actually, it makes watching them different because Froob knows how to do a lot of them. And so this one in particular, I had the opportunity to talk with him, I think like a few months ago. There's going to be some real death-defying moments in this.
Oh boy.
So I will probably be falling asleep to this one, I think, for me, where it's positioned, right after Super Mario Sunshine. That's a pretty. This is all good here. This is all.
Like a good time.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this one. So
it's a killer block. Yeah. What was that? The cool thing they say? It's like all killer, no filler.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Well, if you said it, it must be cool, right?
Oh yes, man. All
right. What else you got to say to me then?
Me? Oh boy. Well, since everything I say is cool now, I think I had this pick. I loved this game. This game was an astounding experience for me when I was a child.
I hope I picked the right one.
Yeah, I'm of course talking about Scooby-Doo Night of Honored Frights. Okay, now listen, I know what you're thinking, man. All right? I know what you're thinking. Oh, ain't this like, budget Battle for Bikini Bottom? Like, no, man. I wish these SpongeBob nerds would sit down and play Scooby for like 2 minutes, because this is a death-defying game, man. This has some hard-ass tricks that I'm not sure exactly the categories these days. I know I don't follow this too closely. I just know they had like maybe 20 frame perfect jumps in a row at some point, because why not? Screw you, it's Scooby, man. Come on, get real. Anyway, it's the only game I know of that has a laugh track, and that's cool. That's why I'm watching it. Anyway, no, but I have a lot of love for this game. I think it's a race. I think it's Jaxler and Snowy Moogle. I think it doesn't say that in the schedule, but I think it's a race. I'm assuming. So yeah, I think it's well deserved to showcase. I don't know if it's ever been at a GDQ. I didn't find it on GDQ VODs. I don't remember any runs of it at GDQ, but it's a robust community. It's got like at least 50, 60, 70 players on that leaderboard. So it's about time, man, that they were able to pull up and show them what's what, Give SpongeBob kids a run for the money. Yes, I am trying to create like SpongeBob versus Scooby drama right now. I am trying to do that because I think that would be hilarious.
Haven't we had enough speedrun drama, KZ Frew?
Yeah, you know, you know, I got a little bit of that this year, and you know, it's just the new sport, you know. So we're just trying to get the new season rolling. 2021.
Right. How are we doing on our Friday here? I think. Do we have one more point from you, Amber? I think.
We have one more. I think we have one more point from each of us.
Oh yeah, I think you're right because we've all
yeah.
each done one game. Yeah. Okay.
I would like to point out Shasta's Wario Land 4 run. I've got a clip that I'm sending over to you.
Okay.
How do I copy timestamp at copy video URL? Got it. Okay. Here you go. Sorry, I'm a little bit behind on the clips.
Yeah, no worries.
So here is Shasta running Wario Land 4, normal 90% zipless, second place in the category, and has been pushing it down really, really far. Wario Land, Game Boy platformer, a lot of character, a lot of charm, and the zipless category is it stays a little bit more inbounds and runs through the game in a little bit more of a traditional way. It's a very cool run.
They got something, you know.
I don't think I've ever played a Wario game. They you know, they get a lot of love though. Very colorful.
It's a platformer. It's a Nintendo platformer, but it's so not a Mario game, and I think that's really good.
It's really different. Like even me, a person who is not literate in the genre, like I see these Wario Land games, and they are on a whole nother level.
It feels a bit.
That's awesome. Oh yeah, absolutely.
It feels a bit clunky, but like
Yeah, this looks dope. Maybe I just like video games. Every clip I've seen of the game,
good, yo.
yeah, every clip I've seen of the game I don't like. I'm like, yeah, but this still looks cool. I like it. It's just, I don't know if I'm easily impressed or what, but.
All right, I'll put that one down. All right, so yeah, so as you said, I guess we all have more to give out here. What did I write down? Oh, you know what I wrote down? I wrote down the Twin Snakes. I think Twin Snakes is a super dope game. I don't understand what the dislike is for Twin Snakes. Since Plywood is here with us in the spirit, I'm going to use the clip that Plywood sent to me for this game. It is specifically, this is not just Twin Snakes, but this is Twin Snakes all dog tags. So the clip that you're going to see here is, you know, he goes in and he's manipulating all these enemies so he can put them in a position where he can grab their dog tags. And if you haven't played Metal Gear Solid 2 or Twin Snakes before, in order to get dog tags, you usually have to hold an enemy up, but sometimes you have to do other things too. Sometimes you have to like rough them up or do whatever. And so here, you know, he uses this alternate path, you know, the runner Tyler to come around the end and sneak up on this guy. So remember, it's not just a normal Metal Gear Solid speedrun, it's all dog tags, and which really requires a lot of just tiny minutia of routing. So he comes up behind this guy, like hits him a bunch of times, because you have to do that before you can hold him up and get the dog tags. And so now the guy coughs up the dog tags. Really interesting. I really think Twin Snakes is just a good time. So no, I'm hyped for this one. I think this will be, if you like Metal Gear Solid runs, or just runs that require you to do a lot of fiddling with enemies, this is going to be a good one.
I like it. Oh, you go.
I was just gonna say I like those categories where it's like, you know, it might be like a completion category, but also there's this too. I like those where it's like you know, additional objectives, that sort of thing. Like yeah, so that's cool. It's exciting. Go ahead, Amber.
I just wanted to say, like, since we've had like this like consistent theme of cheating on the thing so far, I'd like to. I was just looking at the schedule again, and I would like to give a 4th point to inertial drift.
Okay, there we go.
Because inertial drift. Inertial drift is a PS4
you have too many
game.
points on Friday.
It's a PS4 racing game, and it's really cool. And it's on PC too, I guess. I don't know what 100% Viv is, but it's a very, very fast racing game, and I have to respect my racing game friends.
Racing games are so pure, like just in terms of like what it's about. like what you're doing. All right, I went and I found the category, so we're gonna see what this is about.
Oh yeah.
It looks like you're drifting.
Yes.
So, and it's got a cool art style too. This is not one of those things too. Like, I feel like it's hard to communicate sometimes. I don't know. I mean, I know Amber, I had you on to talk about Mario Kart, on a previous OverBoost, and like just like the minutia of all the tracks. Like, I don't know. Like, obviously, you probably can talk about what your own tracks, but it seems overwhelming to me because it's like you must be thinking about every bit of track. But I feel like it ends up being that you're focused on turns. I don't know. I'm just hypothesizing about racing games right now and on a tangent.
So with racing games, at least for as far as I can imagine, like abstracting what I know about Mario Kart onto a different racing game, it comes down to both knowing the track. But when you know the track, you don't think of it as like the track parts necessarily as much as you think of this turn, then this turn, then this turn, then this turn. But you sort of like link it to like visual cues a lot of the time. So like there's probably like some visual changes on the levels, like going through a tunnel. And then like if you go through the tunnel, oh yeah, here's a tunnel. You go through a tunnel and then that can kind of like be it can be like a visual mnemonic to remember what the next couple of turns are. And that's kind of how you can condense all of that memorization of what the next turn is in any game. And I did a little bit of looking. It's like it's a twin stick arcade racer. So it's kind of like you have a control stick for turning, and that turn automatically puts you into a drift, and then you have another drift, and then you have another stick for fine-tuning your drift. So it's like a really unique control scheme as well.
For sure.
I knew this would happen. I knew this would happen.
Yes, I'm here for it. I'm here for Plywood breaking the cropping. Yes.
I thought it would break it more, to be honest.
I figured it would happen.
It was pretty. It was just enough to be disruptive.
The PMC Plywood face-off, the new face-off sequel. All right. So I think, Plywood is here. I'm gonna replace this picture of Clank. I hope you don't mind. We represented you with Clank for.
I appreciate that.
Give me just okay. Actually, while I'm doing this, I think you had one more game for Friday. Yes.
Sure. I'll bring in my last. Let me get that
up, and then you talk about that, and I'll get this cropping situation figured out.
Sure, I will happily stall for you, friend. So, my last pick for Friday, my third pick, not my fourth pick.
Sorry,
Amber. You cheater. Anyway,
we're breaking the rules in all sorts of different ways on this stream.
That's true, many ways. Breaking the layout, breaking the rules. So, Medieval was my last pick. This game got a remaster recently, back on the PS4. I think it was earlier this year, sometime last year. I played a fair bit of that, and it was really awesome. Actually, they did a great job with that remaster because they made it playable. Now that's the problem I have with the original Medieval that our runner here, Jacobo, is playing. Is I find Medieval to be just really obtuse and just does not control well. In the year 2020, it's very hard to get a handle of. So, and I think that adds some benefit to the run because I know just how aggravating it can be, and thus that I know that the runner's gone that much farther to master the game, to just fight through what could be an impediment to your ability. So. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to sort of revisiting the original Medieval because I played the remake and I loved it. It added some content as well. I think it's really they did a really solid job with it, and it'll be fun to just revisit that in its older form. Actually, it's like remakes are good for revisiting games you loved. At one point, for me, it's kind of backwards. I played the remake, loved it. Now let's go back in time and see what the origin story is. So that was my final Friday point. Medieval. The category 80% no DGS. I forget. I didn't write down what DGS is, but they're not doing any of that.
Damn good stuff.
Yeah, well, I would hope there's
No
damn good stuff. There's no damn good stuff. Yeah, that's the category I'm submitting.
No dungeon.
I think it's Dragonfire
gate
skip is what it's supposed to be.
It's some sort. Yeah, it might be some sort of gate skip, Dragon Gate skip or something.
Yeah,
actually.
that's
like
it. That sounds about
unironically,
right.
that's yeah. So there must be some sort of big time clip. But yeah, just trust me, it's a pain in the ass to play. So
All right, I did it. Plywood is here. Plywood is here.
we got it.
I'm so
sorted.
sorry that hopefully everything was all right. I know you had weather problems getting home from work.
It
So
was a crazy day, but in the immortal words of Solid Snake, I kept everyone waiting, but now I'm here, so we're all ship shape.
all right. So I think here's what we're gonna do. I think the way we're gonna rescue this is we're gonna do Saturday as normal, and then we're gonna have a Plywood lightning round.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I think that's
cool.
the way we're gonna rescue this. So let's just do Saturday as normal. Plywood,
Saturday
lead us off with.
I'd like to say Saturday features not one but two convince me picks.
Uh-huh.
Oh boy. All right.
So yeah, Amber's been floating out points for hire. So if you want to convince Amber to
Oh.
give a
There's
point to one of
there's
yours.
still a point waiting on Monday too. We
I'll
saved
try
it
my
special.
best on Monday. Okay, so thankfully I actually have some cliff notes. So for my lightning round, I'll be real ready for that. So for Saturday, I think a very obvious pick for me is Celeste All Seasides with Dance Pads by
Yeah.
Peking Boo.
Yep.
And
That's my pick. That was the one I had.
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. I watched a little bit, just a little peek at Peking Boo doing the dance pad, and it was very engaging. So, I mean, it's already a fun game to watch. People really like Celeste. So to throw in dance pads into the mix while you're speedrunning, and I haven't played Celeste, but my understanding is like Seaside's like the lower, as you go through the alphabet, the harder the stages go. So I think Seaside's
There are B-sides that you find in the main game, and then if you beat the B-side, you unlock the C-side, I think is how it works.
okay. In any case, I think that's going to be a really fun time. People are going to love having the cam. I think that's one of the things that's great about this online event is that we get to have these setups that wouldn't necessarily be able to show up on stage, like having a whole DDR machine for your speed run. So I'm really looking forward to that one.
Mm-hmm. It's worth noting that this is the all C-sides run, so it's not going to run through the whole game. It's just going to run through the hardest version of each world level that the devs made for each world. It's gonna be a really insane challenge. It's gonna show off all of the environments in the game, as well as all the mechanics in the game, just in the hardest form possible, but also even harder with dance pads.
Yeah, I think this has a real potential to be sort of what I wrote down. I said it definitely a big candidate for this year's viral moments. Pretty much every marathon, every cycle, every marathon, you get you get a few of these like highlight moments that the outlets really grip onto. Like Half-Life Alyx, or I remember one year after Blunt Thunder put the Skyrim opening in a BioShock cutscene. Sort of snuck that in, and then he just kept retweeting all the articles that came out of that. And so, I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to how people react to it, because GDQ is not only just a great showcase for speed running, but also just a great showcase for just skill and ability and just, all the interesting ways people interact with their games, where it's like, I've watched Dave Stero maybe do some Celeste on guitar. Well, we also have dance pads. Why not? Why stop there? What's next? The ring fit, Celeste with the ring fit. Why not? Anyways, yeah,
I know someone's played like Overwatch or something by like putting in inputs in like Morse code with one button. It's crazy.
Well, yeah, it's just just things you didn't think were possible, right? And honestly, I thought about it with Celeste dance pads. It kind of makes sense because analog controls, I don't think are that good with Celeste. I mean, maybe you can probably play however you want, of course. Dance pads, guitar, whatever, but you don't have to stick to worry about. Celeste is a game that works totally fine with like 8 directionals,
Right.
so it could work just totally fine there. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Peking Boo has also tried to play Hades on a dance pad. Like to point that out.
Right.
That automatically makes them, I don't know, better. A better person.
Speaking of technical challenges, I'm going to attempt to segue into something that I wanted to highlight, which was the Serious Sam, the first encounter co-op. They are doing 4-player online co-op, which I don't know how that's going to work. That's going to be a real experience. I'm really, really looking forward to how this plays out.
These back-to-back first and second encounters caught my eye, but I don't know anything about them. Sell me on it.
So my experience typically watching these has been, I want to back that up, has been watching my buddy Tapioca do solo runs, which usually in that you're relying on enemies to push you up out of bounds. And here you can see right away this guy gets pushed out of bounds by his friends just shooting him up a hill, and then they're able to use that to sort of load in like the next level like right away. And they do that throughout a whole bunch of this, through a bunch of these levels. I feel like first encounter to me is more broken than second encounter, which is why I'm choosing to highlight that one. But that's kind of the nice thing about co-op speedruns with Serious Sam, and this is true even of some of the later ones, is that you can use that to your advantage. As you can see, even just normally walking around, they're just blasting each other.
Oh my
pushing
god,
them forward.
My eyes.
Yeah,
I'm like 99% sure this is the same engine or the same assets as the Talos Principle.
Yeah, probably. Could be. I don't know. I think Talos Prince was a little more polished, but I think you're not wrong.
Well, no, I remember as a Talos Principle run mentioned stuff about Serious Sam. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's like the level assets are like they use the exact like Talos Principle uses Serious Sam assets.
Oh, really? Okay, interesting. I didn't know that because those games just seem so wildly different. I mean, maybe not in terms of playing them, just thematically. Yeah. Serious Sam, just series of fights basically. So it'll be interesting. I think they've done this before. Maybe I feel like there's at least been co-op or something. You
can put my point towards the Serious Sam block as well. Put one of my points there.
Mr. Frew, what do we got from you?
Okay, so I already talked about Celeste. I did give a point to that. I think you put it on the sheet. I guess next would be my next point I gave to Thief 2, the Metal Age. I think that's just going to be a lot of fun. Thief 2, definitely one of these games where it just easily breaks, and not because it's like a glitchy game or anything like that, but just because you're a thief, and to really play as a thief, you have to actually, play along with that. Okay, I'll sneak around, I'll walk on the carpet, not the tile, that sort of thing. But with Thief 2, the Metal Age, I mean, as a speedrun, you don't really have to care. You don't have to play honest. You could just go. And I think there's a lot of fun to that. I watched a bit of this run, and there was a point where you're just walking around with a body. And I was watching it with sound off at the time. And he's walking around with the body, and then he turns around, and there's like an entire platoon of guards literally right behind him the whole time, which I thought was just a lot of fun. I'm just like watching this guy carry around a body. Turns out everybody's mad at him for it. So I don't know. I think there's some good out of bounds. I think there's some good setups and glitches, tricks and stuff. Just interesting movement. You have like a hook shot or whatever they call that in real life. Not the Zelda item.
Grappling hook.
Grappling hook. That would be it. You get a grappling hook.
You're doing commentary for Just Cause 3. I need you to know this.
All right, grappling hook. All right, I won't call it a hook shot. I swear to God, I won't.
The Thief games are known for how fragile your character is and how you just like immediately fall over and die from like from like a stiff breeze. But in that clip that you were showing, I'm pretty sure I saw like 20 hearts on that person or like 20 shields of health. So I'm interested to see like if there's like a glitch that causes that, or if there's some way that Thief 2 makes your life makes your fragility less relevant.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested. I've Thief, not really a series I've explored personally. I played maybe a little bit of a Thief game, and it is frustratingly obtuse because it's old and it's like it is fragile like that. Like sometimes
there's a lot of depth to the game too.
Oh yeah,
it's a very complex game. That was one of the things that people didn't like about the third Thief game, is that it really like simplified things. But like Thief 2, you have like all these options to how to approach things.
It's one of the first games in the like immersive sim sort of style. It's almost like a precursor to like Dishonored.
Yeah. Or in some aspects, I guess Hitman in that way.
Yeah, totally.
Just setting up the heist, and you got all these solutions, and yeah, it's cool. It's neat.
Now, Amber, I know you had some floater points. Did you have another game on Saturday that you wanted to highlight?
I had one more floater point. I threw one at the Serious Sam. If there's anyone that I would like gun to my head, yell out like I'm excited for this run, I have to give it to another precision platformer. Shredberg's running Super Meat Boy 106%, and that is a run that I wish I could have the technical ability at games like that to do a run like that. Like the precision required to play such crazy difficult levels for an hour and a half straight, and it's like all of the levels in the game. It's 106%. It's the whole game, and there are still like glitches, or not necessarily glitches, but like you have to worry about RNG, and I don't know, there's some really crazy skips and speed tech in the game that's really neat. And I love watching precision platformers.
Less than 100%.
Super Meat Boy is definitely one that I love, and I played a lot of, and there were levels that I just could not beat. The game just got too hard for me. So yeah.
One of my only real experiences with the game myself was it was gifted to me by a friend who will remain anonymous. Because when they gifted it to me, it was, "Dear Amber, this game is probably too hard for you. Sincerely, person."
Wow.
Man, talk about having a beef.
But if you're just going
but it was free game.
Yeah. Cool. I almost picked this one too. Because it's a Super Meat Boy, great game all around.
I did, because I think very much in line with what Amber said. I think it's just a really fun game to watch. Even if you've completed the game, which I haven't. I did never 100% or 104%, 0.5, 3 repeating, completed the game. I remember many years ago in high school on a Halloween, it took me hours to finish the final level. It wasn't even the dark levels, just the final boss level. So to be able to see just high execution, and it's so fast paced because, level. Yeah. So I'm super excited for Super Meat Boy. Always fun to watch.
And after 3 years of advertisements on the GDQ channel, Super Meat Boy Forever is finally out as well. So I wonder if we're going to get any comments about that during the run.
I don't know too much about that game, but I do remember.
It's an endless runner game. There's like it's a bajillion levels. Yeah, it's a very different game from the other Meat Boys, and I don't know anything about it really either. I just know that GDQ has advertised it for the last 3 years.
Forever.
And it's finally out, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I have a quick one here. I always make a point to, to look up some things I don't necessarily, I'm not necessarily familiar with. And so I have to admit that I'm probably going to at least check out this Catch 'em All run. I know nothing about Pokemon speedrunning, but this whatever's going on the right side of the screen is mesmerizing to me, which I believe is just a graph of all the Pokemon. But it's just impressive.
Yep. They have a tracker. I know a little bit about this.
Okay.
This is a tracker for the game. Yep. It tracks whether you have seen the Pokemon or whether you have actually caught the Pokemon.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Not entirely sure why they need to track both, but it does.
This is interesting because I think the runner etiquette. I think he closed.
He closed with Pokemon Shield. Yeah,
last one was Shield, and so he's got the second to last run. So yeah, these Pokemon games, they do get the eyes. I remember there was a lot of hype during that Pokemon Shield run. It's a little long, in my opinion, for a finale, but we definitely have some more succinct choices this time around with Pokemon Blue at just under 2 hours, and hopefully getting that ZFG all dungeons run.
Interesting that it's all dungeons instead of 100% from ZFG. I don't know too much about what's been going on in the run. I just know that 100% has been rerouted a couple of times recently, and I've been seeing posts on the speedrun subreddit, although I haven't been clicking on them.
Well, I can tell you that unless the category changes, I don't think in its current iteration you're ever going to see 100% in a marathon. It's just not. It's too difficult.
Okay.
This point they're literally some of the setups he does for just writing things into, I don't want to say the code, he's just like changing the game states. Like one thing he does is he changes a requirement for a quest from rescuing 4 people to rescuing 1, and that happens entirely off screen with just like placing items and shit. That's just insane. You're never going to be able to really I think do that.
Not only is it not marathon safe, it's almost impossible to commentate efficiently.
Yeah. So it's a deeply impressive category, but it's not a marathon one. Yeah.
All right. Fru, you got another one that you want to share?
Yeah. So my last point that I gave, for Saturday, and I guess just the pod in general, my last point goes to Super Orb Brothers 100% with Mitch Flower Power. I chose this one because Mitch is cool. I like Mitch. Nice guy. I like ROM hacks. We were talking a little bit about, hacks and mods in general, that sort of thing earlier. We touched on that briefly, and I think it's really cool to just to see that at GDQ. I think ROM hacks overlaps a lot with speedrunning, not just in terms of the audience it attracts, where it's like, obviously you're going to get really people that just love these games playing the ROM hacks, but also I think speedrunning is in some way just a love letter to games and gaming, and ROM hacks just that, the exact same thing. Bless you.
Thank you.
I chose this clip because there's just a lot of crazy stuff happening with, it's not just you got to platform well. It's like you got to platform well and you got to get the shell all the way through the level. It's like, it's just, that's insane. And to be able to do that is cool. And I think this ROM hack itself has new mechanics, like Mario just wall jumped. I don't think you're doing that in Super Mario Bros. 3 normally. So, just seems like a very well-made ROM hack, and I'm excited to see just more of these just creations at GDQ, right? Just really a unique way of presenting games, I think.
Cool. I think, did we get all of yours, Amber, for Saturday, or did we have them?
Celeste, Meat Boy, Flex Pick went to Serious Sam. You got all mine.
Okay. Plywood, what else we got from you?
My last point for Saturday is Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, any percent race.
It's a good one.
Yeah. And we got world record holder, and I'm not sure what rank Mitch Ritz is, but I'm sure he's very close. It's a very new game, or it came out last year, but there's been so much work put into it. It's in the same kind of vein as the Dark Souls games, and as a Tenchu fan. It was originally supposed to be like related to Tenchu, and then it wasn't Tenchu. I'm like, just give us Tenchu again. But putting that aside, there's fun skips. It's a fast run. It's pretty short, and you have a race on top of it, which keeps it exciting. So it's just a cool game, very intense to watch, and should be fun.
Cool.
Excellent, man. Excellent pick. Yeah.
Do we got one? No, because you did you pick one? Fruit, do you have any more? This is your final point. I think we're all
done.
good then, right?
We got everything for Saturday. Before we go into the Plywood speed round,
yes.
I googled Tenchu, and the top 2 things under people also ask are, is Sekiro like Tenchu? ? And then, will there be a new Tenchu game?
Is it Plywood typing these questions?
I'm also a huge Tenchu fan.
Farther down, who owns Tenchu IP?
I think FromSoft does, right? Don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because they actually published some of the last Tenchu games. I thought, like Yeah. Okay. Well, in that case, I included a final split here because I felt like it would, in case of emergency, add another split. And as it turns out, it proved useful because we're going to have a Plywood lightning round here. We're going all the way back to Sunday. Okay. Lay us some picks.
All right. So can we set some ground rules here about how much time I have for each day, just so I don't
10 words or less per game.
10 words or less?
Wow.
Give him a little bit.
Kidding.
I'll start flashing my lights if I get bored.
Okay, that's good. I'll take that one. All right.
If you see the colors start to drain from our face.
Right. Okay. Good to know. So, well, I'll start with the one that's already on this list, which is Dragon Age Any %. So I've watched that run before. I love that game when I played it originally. I love watching the run. Fun, glitchy, broken Western RPGs. I love watching them. You guys have already talked about it, so I don't really need to say anything. So I'm just going to move on. My next pick, Donkey Kong Country, no major skips. And not my favorite Donkey Kong Country. That would be 2. But I just like watching Donkey Kong Country. Nice precision platformer, nice speed to it. It's just a classic game. So even though it's not my personal favorite country game, I was like, nice pick and no major skips. So we're going to see the full game. So that's fun. And then my final pick for Sunday, and this is the hashtag bias showing, but this is a big one for us, is Metal Gear Solid 4, The Boss Extreme New Game by Jaguar King. And if you've never played this game, it's a hoot and a holler of an epic mess, but the run is one of the hardest in the entire series. And Jaguar King is a GDQ veteran. He's run Metal Gear Solid 2, he's run Metal Gear Solid 3, and we were so floored that Solid 4 even got in, because we had doubts that this game would ever get in because of its length. Sure. But the thing is that not only does this game require such precision with the movement, there's a lot of luck that you have to deal with. Just as an example, since you're in a war zone for a lot of the game, you can just get hit by stray bullets and you get killed in like 3 shots. So it's
can you go through what the category is? What is the boss? And I'm guessing extreme is highest difficulty.
That's right. So weird thing for Solid 4 is that the difficulties have a character name with them. So the boss extreme is the highest difficulty.
It's just
liquid. Yeah, it's just the name of the difficulty. And then on new games, so you have to manage your money really well. Part of it is that the better you play, so you have to pick up resources for money. You have to play stealthily so you can get that bonus money at the end of every act. So playing well is super important. Of course, you have the classic dealing with bosses, some skips as well. There is a slow part to the run. Act 3 is infamously slow. There's a 15-minute basically 50-minute auto scroller. So that was part of the reason why we were uncertain if this game would ever get in, but we were super happy that it did, because even though it has its slow moments, it's also a very difficult and impressive run. So
nice.
Awesome. No, I'm looking forward to that. That's like a game I played, once, like a lot of people, and I feel like I want to see more of. I feel like it's one of those things I'm ready to reevaluate, and certainly getting to see cool speedruns can be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. So that's my Sunday. All right.
Yeah,
everyone's color is still in their face, so I know I'm doing okay. Cool. Monday. I'm looking at what we have here. Okay, so we have some similarities here, except I put Turok 1. I didn't see Turok 2.
Wait, it's not... Oh, wait, what? Did I misread?
PMC. This is Turok 1.
Is this Turok 1?
This is Turok 1, not Turok 2.
It's probably because is the runner's name Pale 2? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Yeah.
The runner's name is Pale 2, but this is Turok 1.
Oh my god. All right. Guilty.
Oops. Okay.
So got Turok on there.
So Ziori had Turok. I've watched this run before. It's a lot of fun to watch. I mean, I think this is the kind of run that could make some people motion sick. So that is something to say, because something about the look of Turok, and you're running on diagonals and it's super fast. Like, I could see some people getting a little bit ill watching it, but if you can stand watching it in that way, the movement is so fast. There's some fun skips in there. You climb up rocks in ways you're not supposed to. Goofy boss fights. It's a fun time to watch, in my opinion.
Hey. You mentioned the movement. I didn't notice this earlier, but now that I see it, this is one of those games where you add your horizontal and vertical, or you add your X and Y so that you move a little tiny bit faster on the diagonal.
Yep.
That's a really fun little bit of speed tech that I appreciate.
Yeah. What else we got?
Yeah, and the remaster version it's so much better than N64 to watch, though. That goes without saying, I suppose. Also, adding a point to Dark Messiah of Might and Magic.
Yes.
Because launching yourself through gates with hay barrels is pretty great. And like the dagger dashing, like you're flying in the air because you're like moving your daggers. Like, again, it's sort of in the same vein as Dragon Age. Just broken Western RPGs are fun to watch. So.
What's your third one for Monday?
My third one is the unique one, and that's Sonic 06 Shadow's Story, no mission select glitch. So
Sonic 06 is the black sheep of Sonic franchise, is that right?
No, that's Sonic and the Black Knight.
Wait, really?
Well, Sonic 06 is just a glitch fest.
Okay. I
Sonic
don't think I've ever...
Sonic 06 is just a glitch fest. There is a Sonic game called Sonic and the Black Knight.
I typed Sonic franchise. I get Sonic food. God, man. No.
You looking to buy a Sonic?
So look up with Sonic 06.
So, I love the janky, broken mess games, and Sonic 06 is pretty infamous for being a broken, janky mess. And I always... So my background in speedrunning in part is running games that tend to be a little bit flawed and hard to control and such. So I always think it's fun to watch people be able to control things that are generally not easy to control. Not to say that there isn't an appeal to precision platforming when controls are great, but also to be able to be on the other side of the spectrum and handle something that is broken in such a fast way, I think is really fun to watch. So
cool. No, that's everyone loves. I don't know. I've heard so much about that. Whenever I tune into it, even though Sonic's not my thing, I'm always impressed.
I had another point for Monday. I want to throw it at Revenge of the Bird King, which is a Switch title. Revenge of the Bird King is most famous for being available for 5 cents for very often on the eShop.
Sure.
It is very frequently 99% off, or 95% off, or whatever. And it is best described as a Shovel Knight ripoff where you play as a bird. and you have a gun. But it's like Shovel Knight. It looks like Shovel Knight. It's a very, very not great game, but it's got a lot of charm, and it'll be interesting.
Cool.
Nice.
Tuesday.
This was the hardest day for me. There are so many good runs on Tuesday. I counted like +7 that I would have thrown in there if it was on a different day, but didn't happen. So Tuesday is really hard. So Fear was one of my picks. Just a borked FPS game. Maxie's been running the game for a very long time, knows the glitches, knows the tricks. And Maxie's just a chill dude. He's fun to watch. He keeps it nice and cool so that when you're freaking out from watching a broken mess, it's like, well, you got Maxie there. He knows how to handle it. He'll guide you through the fear.
Hell yeah.
So there you go. Another pick, I'm going to go through my non-unique picks first, is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1-2. All goals and golds, all tours, Party Man X. So there were 2 Tony Hawk games on the list. I went with 1 and 2 because it's the newer game and, something people haven't seen before. And Tony Hawk runs are fun to watch, even if you've never played the game before, because it's such a beautiful display of skill and speed. And just doing weird stuff that normal people, when they're playing the game, probably wouldn't do. But if you really have an idea of how to break the move system and the trick system, you can gain a lot of speed. You can go in places you normally wouldn't if you're just playing casually. So I think that's just going to be a fun run to watch. Even though I haven't personally seen the new game all that much, people like it, so I think it's a good pick. And then my unique pick for Tuesday, which I'm actually surprised wasn't on this list at all, is Metroid All Bosses. And the reason why I picked this game is Metroid 1 is a wonderful, broken little mess, but the fact that you actually go and fight all the bosses gives it a little bit of a twist to me. Compared to just trying to beat the game as quickly as possible. If you're looking at the clip right now, you're seeing these fun warps as you're scrolling up and down the screen, and then you just go fight some goofy 1980s boss that just kind of sits still and you just spam fire at it. It's great. So Metroid All Bosses, it's a classic game. And feels like a good fit for Tuesday when we have we have skateboarding, we got a bunch of horror games, and then we got zooming up and down NES games. So
yeah, that's just a wild. It's Tuesday's so packed, it's crazy.
Yeah, this is cool. I didn't give a point to this one, but definitely seeing the classic Metroid is cool because we see a lot of Super Metroid. Obviously at GDQ, one of the highlights, just period. But yeah, just going a little back in time. The screen wrapping is so interesting because that's a thing that happens in a number of NES games. At least I'm thinking of Zelda 1 where they screen wrap there as well. It's so interesting. Just that sort of old school tech, yeah.
For sure. All right, lightning round.
Lightning round continues. The fun
Wednesday never stops until we get to Friday. So Wednesday, I have on my list Devil May Cry 3 Virtual New Game by Waifu. So if you've never played Devil May Cry 3, it's actually one of the harder Devil May Cry games because they basically went in the opposite direction after 2. 2 was too easy, so they're like, all right, we're going to make 3 hard again. And the difference with Virgil is you have a completely different move set compared to Dante because they're the twins, right? They're brothers. Virgil plays a little bit differently. And character action games are just fun to watch and to see that execution, especially when it comes to boss fights. How do you approach the boss fights? Because a lot of it is battle arena kind of thing. So how do you approach every encounter in a really clean way and just handle some of the randomness that can be thrown at you, because I was watching a little bit of Waifu play it, and he was saying like, it's hard to really know what to do sometimes because of so much variance. So you have to have this sort of improvisational aspect, and I always appreciate that in certain runs. It's nice to see like a completely scripted run, because usually those are really fast, but to be able to improvise and handle on the fly, I think is really fun to watch.
No, that's a good one. That probably would. I felt like a little better leaving that off because I had Left 4 Dead 2 on the previous day, but no, that I'm always impressed with the character action games and how they manage enemies in this.
Wow, we have a pretty diverse Wednesday, so none of my games are on here, I don't think. So okay, so
What
next
else
up,
we got?
Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island, 100%, baby.
I should have put this on my list. Can I be honest? Epic
You can change your point.
Yeah, let's pull off Epic Dumpster Bear 2 because, you should say some stuff about this game.
Yeah, so I actually recently got to play this game a little bit again. I love this game. And this is such a hard game to play in general because there's such a learning curve to playing as Yoshi. So to put everything into perspective, the amount of aiming you have to do with these eggs is absolutely phenomenal in 100% context to get all these coins, because part of it is if you throw the egg in the right spot, you can pick up coins. And from this clip, you can just see this, this precision is incredible. Just really fun to watch. Now there are some dull moments to World 2, certainly, and it's a long run, but the highlights I think really make up for it.
Yeah, I didn't have anything particularly meaningful to say about this, so I didn't put it on my list. I am excited to see it. What I can say about Yoshi's Island is that the game has a billion collectibles, considering that it's a 2D platformer, and 100% is going to be amazing. And it's an older game that has not been at a GDQ in a really long time, and if I remember correctly, at least. And so seeing how far it's been pushed is going to be really exciting too.
For sure.
Ah, man, that's
And
a chonker. Almost 3 hours.
I know it's long, but hey, 100% is difficult.
Yeah,
very difficult. So, and then my final pick for Wednesday: Squadala, we're off. Wand of Gamelon, all cutscenes. I had to throw in the meme. What's wonderful about games like this, it doesn't matter if the run goes poorly. Everyone's gonna have a good time anyways because it's all cutscenes.
Yeah.
So I know it's a bonus game. So I guess potentially it won't happen. But come on, it's Wand of Gamelon. It's gonna happen.
Gamelon, yeah.
Oh,
people want to see Wand of Gamelon. I want to see some hot CDI action out there. Actually, just as a side note, there's been some, I don't know if it was Wand of Gamelon or Faces of Evil. I think it's Wand of Gamelon. There was a recent, I don't know if you should call it patch, but a remaster that someone made. Wand of Gamelon.
Yeah. They just like remade the whole game. Actually, I think is what they did in Game Maker or something. That's crazy. That's nuts. It's so cool though. Like just the act of restoration there is just awesome.
All right, lightning round continues.
Okay, lightning round continues with Thursday. Cool. So Thursday had some really interesting picks for me. Half-Life scriptless, had to put that on there. High-level Half-Life 1 play is bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers. Sure, the very start of the run is an auto-scroller, basically. You're just waiting around for the action to start the moment things start going off the hook. And when they do, once they're done being in their few-minute prison waiting for the initiation of the action in Half-Life, the speed, the bunny hopping, the control you have to have of Gordon Freeman is really fun. And every time I see him, like, I don't think I could do that. So it's always fun to watch that kind of precision with first person, because it's like, you know, it gets to the point where it's like, it's just like platforming more than like shooting.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy. I'm wowed by it every time.
For sure.
What else is on for Thursday?
Resident Evil 5 new game co-op amateur. Had to throw this on here because new game co-op requires a good amount of coordination between the runners, since you have to juggle your inventory management, your purchases, your upgrades. You have to know very well the route in terms of what treasures to pick up, how to maximize your money, what to spend it on. And RE5 co-op is just fun in general. If you've never played Resident Evil 5, you should definitely play it co-op, not single player.
Do not play it single player.
Yeah. Playing with the AI is generally just annoying, but playing with a friend, you know, they adjusted it in a way from RE4, specifically the inventory management, that it really highlights. You only have like 9 slots, whereas in RE4 you have like a full attaché case of stuff. So being able to manage that and the coordination, I think co-op runs are always fun to watch in the context of GDQ, because not only they're doing commentary, they're doing work together, right?
Yeah.
So there's like this element of commentating and also, hey, we need to do this thing together. Yeah. So
cool.
Fun stuff.
Yeah.
And the final one for Thursday is
something a little bit out of left field, and that is Slow Drive. Any percent.
Oh yeah, no, we did cover this one. Yeah.
So Slow Drive was like, oh, what's this? And this guy, Bullets, he does runs of like games that feature a protagonist that's an animal. That's like his thing. Which is cool. So this is, you play as a sloth in a car. This seems like a perfect like early morning run. It's just nice and chill. You're driving a wonky, it looks like a Yugo or something. So nice, just fun. I like the aesthetic of the game. I've never played it, but just watching, I'm like, yeah, I could chill out and watch some Slow Drive. It's great.
Cool. Yeah. No, I picked that one too. That's definitely on my radar. I recently had the chance to talk to Bullets about the Animal Challenge as well. It was a lot of fun. Friday. Last day of the lightning round.
Okay. Whew. So on my list, but I am hashtag biased, but anyone who knows me is probably not surprised that I picked this, is Metal Gear Solid The Twin Snakes, All Dog Tags Extreme by Tyler. I ran this game at SGDQ 2018, full disclosure. But even so, this game has come quite a bit since my run. There's some new skips in the game, and they don't skip a lot of the game, just little bits to add that a little bit of spice. And the All Dog Tags run, if you've never seen it, essentially you're stealing everyone's identity. So every guard in the game, you hold them up, you shake them down, you steal their dog tags, you got their identity. Here's the thing, though. You cannot ever get spotted because it's game over if discovered. So you have to be very sneaky. And there's just some really wild, wacky strats. If you're watching this clip right here, Tyler's going to hold up 3 guards at once and then punch every single one of them in the groin at once. So it's just like really wacky stuff. And beyond the identity stealing in this run, just some really difficult boss fights, trying to maintain that big boss rank, which is the top rank in the game, what we call rank 1, trying to be sneaky and basically skillful. It's just a real blast. I'm really looking forward to the run. So yeah, Twin Snakes.
Yeah, no, I had highlighted that too. I had played your clip too. I didn't even realize that was 3 guards at once. So that's shows all the surprises holding in that one. What else you got for Friday?
So another pick for Friday is Oddworld Stranger's Wrath. Any percent, no ghost. This game is very nostalgic to me. I played it on the original Xbox. But this game, it's an interesting mix. If you've never seen this game, the other Oddworld games are primarily puzzle games. but Stranger's Wrath is a third-person action game, but with a twist. You can actually play in first person as well. So if you watch this game, there's this mixture of first-person movement and third-person movement, and going out of bounds and fighting enemies and bosses and fun stuff like that. You watch a few minutes of this run, you'll see the Stranger climbing, rocks that normally in other games you would not be able to jump on and have collision. You just start, going off in the map. It's great.
Yeah, that's a cool one. No, I showed a clip that I took earlier where he just starts hopping over all the buildings in town to get around something, and it's just like, all right, I'm in. Let's go. Fantastic for me. Love that game. So I'm glad it's getting some love at GDQ. And then my final pick for Friday and the end of the lightning round, the Plywood lightning round, is an old mainstay, Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask any percent. So this is mostly because I just really like Majora's. It's one of my favorite 3D, actually my favorite 3D Zelda game. And, Ocarina of Time has seen its advancement in any percent, as most people may know, and Majora's has as well. So I don't think that has been shown yet at GDQ, if I'm not mistaken, the new any percent route for Majora's. So I think if that is the case, even if it isn't, it's just nice to see. So there you go.
Totally.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to say that we have finished exactly on estimate, and I will never tell anyone what the estimate was. Why?
I knew what the estimate was.
I did not. That's exciting.
I don't know if I was given more information or something.
I think I tried to do a very good job of giving you all the same pitch. Like I even put it in a text box by itself.
Yeah, no, you did. You did.
So, but
I
thank you.
heard this was going to be an hour and a half.
Yeah, 90 minutes is what I said. And we went over.
That's fine.
It's chill. No, I had fun. This was fun. Yeah. I started yawning a little bit, but like I said,
thank you so much for giving me this time.
Yeah, man.
No, this was super fun. Thanks for having me. Thanks for doing this.
No, I enjoy it. And it was great to hear all the picks. Yeah, Plywood, I'm so sorry about what happened to you. With the weather and everything. I'm glad you were able to give us all the lightning round picks at the end. Hopefully this recording will make sense to people. We had fun anyway.
Yeah, man.
Any other final words before I think some of us are running out of gas after almost 2.5 hours, but if anyone's got a final word, I'll give it to you, but yeah, it's got to be like a sentence. Go ahead, Plywood.
All right. I just have to say, after looking at the schedule, I'm really happy with it. Like, this is a very good GDQ schedule. I think it has a great amount of diversity. There's a lot of neat stuff that normally wouldn't be at GDQ. And doing this has just amplified that feeling to me, because looking at this list, y'all picked some really cool stuff. So, I hope it's great.
Yeah, no, I think likewise, this is amplified my excitement.
Definitely.
Do y'all have any feelings about who you would want to go raid? There's actually a few people we talked about are online.
Those nerds.
How could they be streaming?
I don't know, man.
Actually, well, okay. Who wants to do a rocket engine noise? And then I'm just going to raid whoever I want to.
We've all
been on the podcast.
God. No. Well, wait a minute. I was on the podcast before that was a thing, though.
Oh, you're right.
I was on the OG version podcast when it was just Max.
It was just about Max. The first 5 episodes. All right. Well, in that case, I'm going to conclude that. Thank you all so much for listening and watching. This will all be available. Please follow everyone who did this. If you are not for some reason. And thank you so much again. Plywood, please help us escape.
Oh, God. That's my rocket noise.